Hey Internet, it's RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into the show today. Now, today's episode, we're going around the net with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. So on the docket for today, we have a lot to get to. We have the Amex Green Card MIA, Chase finally opening another lounge. The Robinhood Platinum card is out for those with invites, and it even took the time to rework some coupons. And of course, Samsung, not only did they launch a few new phones that look pretty nifty, they also may have launched what could be credit card of the year. All that and more. So, of course, if it sounds interesting to you, go ahead, press the subscribe button, and let's get to work. Now we'll lead off with Chase. You know, Chase is trying to play in the lounge war big boy space, catching up to American Express and staying on par with Capital One, where they finally opened another airport lounge. This time we find ourselves in DFW, Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. So again, we've got some pictures we'll put up that we stole from Reddit. I believe that's where I found them. So this lounge, located, of course, past security in Terminal D by Gate D25. It's about 18,000 square feet. I believe it's a multi-level lounge, I want to say, the way it looks anyways. So, you know, again, not too much to say here. They've been messing around with Texas for quite some time. I think they were renting, it's when they had one of those sapphire terraces for quite some time. It's like a holdover until they could get the lounge. I want to say get the lounge open. So look, more options is better. Everything looks nice when it's brand new. I think good for them. Years ago, I used to end up at that airport quite a bit for work. So, of course, now that I have a Sapphire Reserve business, I do have a Sapphire Reserve business. So if I ever ran through there between now and the next 11 months, I guess I could actually get in, but probably not going to happen. So there you go. Good for Chase, keeping it interesting. If you go through and check it out, let us know what you think. Now, if you don't like the Chase card, well, maybe American Express could have something up their sleeves that you might like, perhaps, because the American Express Green Card is now missing in action from their website. So here you go. If you go, you can just see, if you look for it, if you search for it, you can just see it comes back with nothing there. Now, it's not really a big deal. We talked about it quite some time ago, maybe a month or two ago, that they were going to change the name from Green Card to Classic Green. If you go back enough in the history, I guess that's what they're playing on. Some folks that thought, like, well, you know, it's not green card like immigrants and throwing dudes out of the country. I was like, I don't know if people are really making that connection to it. I feel like I just hold my ground if I was American Express. But again, we've seen the Indians and the Redskins fall in baseball and football, so even crazier things have happened. That being said, I would have originally thought a simple name change wouldn't require to take the card down and put it back. I figured it would just be that simple. So it does lead to believe there's a possible refresh. The name was supposed to change on August 20th, so like we're a good month out. So it's entirely possible if you're going to change the name. But even when they had announced they're going to change the name, they had kind of said your benefits are going to remain the same. But I suppose they could have said that, meaning that nothing will change until your next annual fee is due. And the card's probably overdue for a refresh. The interesting part about it is, you know, the Amex does have a few competitors, big competitors being Chase, Wells Fargo, and Citi, all with really strong $95 cards now. Even the Sapphire Preferred, after its refresh, is, you know, significantly stronger than it used to be, where Amex doesn't have anything on the $95 tier, and I would assume they'd want to move the price up to like $195. So even if they did refresh it, I gotta imagine you're looking at more resi credits, maybe a streaming credit, because it's supposed to be an accessible card to get you in. So I could see something like that, but it has been gone for about most of this past week. So that's kind of what makes me think it could be a refresh. That, and they just like to hike the fee as well. You know, I suppose they could move it up and introduce a card below it, but I don't know if they're going to do that. They still need to address the platinum card issue. It's still ongoing, I would say. So we'll keep an eye out for what the future of the green card could hold. Simple name change or brand new refresh. Simply for interest's sake, I hope it's a refresh, but that's more so as I have something to talk about. But something else to talking about being missing in action, Chase, back to Chase now, has actually shut down a few Amazon Prime cards. Now, it's not as crazy as you think when you look through it, but the story did end up getting a little bit of traction early in the week, so I thought we'd cover it. So this was posted originally over on Reddit. I believe it was our credit cards, I want to say. So the guy said, hey, you know, Chase shut down my account, but there was inactivity was some that were noted, and then the other one, the big but, was it was large spend and cycling credit limits So the guy who was talking about it was doing like 1.2 million a month on his Amazon card, on his personal Amazon card. So when you go through the post a little bit, I think even the mods noted him like, hey, this is a little bit misleading, don't you think? Like, yes, it did happen, but 1.2 mil on a personal card. Honestly, I think 1.2 mil on even on the Amazon Prime business card would probably do it, because again, those are still small business credit cards, and there's a whole level above those, which are like commercial cards, what an actual company would have. So yes, they're shutting some folks down. 1.2 million is quite excessive, because either you're drop shipping things or you're kind of part of a buying group. Those are the main two things I could think of that you would be doing, because there's really no, for the Amazon card, you wouldn't be just loading your Amazon balance. That would be pointless. There's not a ton of gift card sales over there to take advantage of that level. So it'd be drop shipping or buying club. Either way, it's somewhat funny, because I wonder if you're Chase and you look at Amazon, because remember when they were going to break up a few years back, Amazon wanted Chase to like hike up the credit limits for folks and start approving everyone, and Chase didn't want to do it. Obviously, they gave in. It's like, see, this is what happens when you do that. I wonder what his credit limit was. It's probably noted in there. So, but they did just close down his Amazon card, not all of his cards. So the inactivity is interesting, because generally you have Prime, it does charge directly to your Prime card, giving you one charge a year. I had a few $100s in Amazon gift cards, and it bypassed that to charge my Prime card for my Prime renewal. Like, oh, of course, more ticky-tack stuff. So anyways, keep an eye out, probably more so for the inactivity. Every so often we cover these stories. I'm like, man, you guys do this to yourself, and then you want to show up and complain by 1.2 mil on an Amazon card. Like, okay, sure. At least I think Chase does give you 30 days to get your points and go away. So there's that. Now, something you should just go away from on your own without the invite is the Robinhood Platinum card. We've talked about this before. Robinhood kind of teased it out. Now it's out. It's not out for just if you want it, but again, I don't think you should want it. But they were inviting folks to get it. I don't know how they decided who was getting the invite and who wasn't. But they did rework the card a little bit in the coupon section. So there's a full press release where they kind of tell you what they changed. I will be here for too long if I go through all of it, so I'm just going to pull what the card looks like now. But the whole thing is linked for you on profitable-content.com. So you've still got about a $700 annual fee, $695. Multipliers, 5 back on dining for the first $50,000 in spend a year. 10 back hotels and car rentals through Robinhood Travel Portal, 5x on flights through the Travel Portal, 1 back on everything else. Your coupons, as they say, $120 DoorDash credit, $10 a month, no minimum order. $250 dining credit, $20 per month with a higher $30 in January. $700 in hotel credits booked through Robinhood Portal, $250 in statement credits every 6 months, plus a $100 property credit for hotel services that does require a 2-night stay at participating premium hotels in the app. $300 annual flights credit, $150 every 6 months for direct flight booking with any airlines. That's probably the best one out of all of them, with any airlines or flight books and through Robinhood Travel. So you can do book direct. Direct flight bookings. $250 Waymo, that's like the self-driving Ubers, $20 and up to $30 in December. TSA Global Entry. You're going to get your gold membership comp. There's some stuff to Function Health. This stuff remains the same. Amazon Health, so apparently you're just going to be really healthy. Whoop credit. DoorDash. There's DoorDash to offset all that healthiness, and there's an 8 Sleep if you want a fancy mattress. There's a credit for that. So I know we speed ran this a little bit. We've talked about it for some time, though. Overall, I feel the same. This card's way too expensive. But look, there's a lot of people with a decent amount of money, and it just doesn't matter. $700 isn't going to hurt them at all. Now, as far as I can tell, it's a cashback earning card, so it's still targeted at people who technically like myself, who like cashback but may need to travel. Last time you could only have this or the gold card, which also didn't make much sense at all to why you couldn't have both of them. The thing about the Amex Platinum, which I don't care for, is at least I understand why you'd want to go through the coupon booking. And, Marriott Gold, Hilton Gold, Centurion Lounges, some passes to Sky Clubs, value it whatever you want. But that's stuff that, you're paying to cut the line because you're not a traveler enough to earn it on your own, which is fine. That's up to you. But when I look at this, this is quite literally a coupon book in the sense that you can go through all these coupons, but you're not getting any status or any access from having this stuff. You're literally just getting coupons. which I find interesting. So yeah, I mean, for somebody, sure, if you happen to be the person who used all this stuff or were considering an 8 Sleep or whatnot, or Amazon Health, or the Whoop deal, I guess, I mean, then yeah, maybe, but I just really don't think this is good. I just don't see the why you would do any of this. I don't see why you would not let them have the gold card as well. That seems to be the one people want, so if they can get it. So there you go, platinum cards out. I don't think they're actually shipping platinum cards like they did with the gold. They could be, though. So anyways, we'll keep an eye on it as it becomes public and see. I'm sure if people try to sell us built, I'm sure someone on the internet will say this is their new favorite card. I'm sure of it. So what could be your new favorite card if you have the right cell phone is the Samsung Galaxy credit card. Now Samsung, they had their, I think it's called Galaxy Unpacked this week, and they show off their new phone. So that's the the flip phone, the folding one, and they have a new passport style one as well. It's not really a phone channel, but Samsung generally does have really good phones. I would argue significantly more features and better than Apple. Maybe not so much against the Pixel, but anyways, alongside of those, you get watches and headphones. We also got a credit card, which I could have sworn was rumored for quite some time, but it's finally here. So obviously this will only be for my Samsung folks, because you're going to need a Samsung phone. But let's take a look at it. So Galaxy credit card. It's in partnership with Barclays Bank. It's going to be a cashback card, runs on the Visa network. It's also metal, so there's that. I believe there's no annual fee. With the time I grabbed this screenshot, I didn't see that, but I'm going to believe it's no annual fee. Multipliers, 5x back on eligible purchase made directly with Samsung, 3 back on purchases made with Samsung Wallet, 2 back on streaming like Netflix, Disney Plus, and Spotify, and 1 back on everything else. Your benefits here, you do get 20% off Samsung VIP Advantage, plus earn 5% cash back when purchasing, 5% cash rewards when purchasing or renewing a Samsung VIP Advantage membership. Your intro offer is going to allow you $200 for spending $2,000 in the first 90 days. And so obviously the top 2 categories, the 5 and the 3 ones, are pretty good. The 5% will be hit or miss. And again, they conveniently changed the name of the folding one, which is the one that I like the best. They changed it to like the Ultra. They're just trying to hide the price change in there because everyone's trying to get around the RAM prices and all that. So they introduced a new one to cover off Apple, who's making a passport folding phone allegedly this year. But the point being is that top phone, I think, is $2,200. And that's like the base storage. If you hike it up to like a terabyte or something, it's probably significantly more. So, of course, there's that. And then Samsung, obviously, they sell a lot of stuff. They sell appliances, home entertainment stuff. So if you've timed it right, you need a lot of Samsung stuff. You could certainly cash in on the 5%. But the real winner here is that 3% mobile wallet. So basically you put in your Samsung wallet, and then anywhere you can do mobile wallet, you're now getting 3% back. And that is uncapped. I believe I saw redemptions are for cash back. Like you could transfer out to a bank account, a different bank account, which is nice. That's a feature we're seeing getting killed off, or of course, statement credit. And that 3% back as of right now is uncapped. So, it's a small thing, but I think this card is really good, especially after we just lost the Kroger credit card, which reasons folks like that was because of the mobile wallet. That was 5%, but there was a cap. I think the Altitude Reserve also had something like that as well. So this could definitely be a solid catch-all. I mean, you still want a 2% card for the times you can't do mobile wallet, but many places nowadays take mobile wallet. I mean, it was part of when we upgraded the POS systems to do the chip card. I think a lot of those just came with the NFC deal for tapping and mobile wallet. I mean, obviously it's not going to work for someone like a Walmart, but that's really few and far between these days as someone who's so stubborn and they just don't have to change, right? So yeah, look, if I had a Samsung phone, I would get this card. I don't have a Samsung phone. I do keep a second phone for work. I thought about it. I could just get like a cheap swap it for a cheap Android phone. Then I have to carry 2 phones on the weekends. I normally don't. Probably won't do that, but if I had a Samsung phone, I think this is the move. The fun part about this is like, okay, what does this do to Chase taking on the Apple card? This is what we always thought Apple should have done. They stuck with the partners, right, and not just everybody. Unfortunately, I think Apple's so big and Chase is so big, I don't think this is going to push them to change. I think they can lay out and take a wait and see approach. Let's see how this goes for Barclays and Samsung first. Now, I think this will last for some time before it eventually gets a kneecap. I think it's worth getting now, and you could get a good run out of this before they change something about this card. But in a perfect world, you'd like it to push, the Apple Card to be better. I do think there's a chance Chase refreshes the card. Chase, I think, is really good at the co-branded non-travel cards, where Amex is probably significantly better at the co-branded travel cards. Does this make people switch phones? Probably not. I don't think so. But I think it might help. It's a really solid foothold in the Samsung ecosystem. Especially if you're looking at other Android phones, like you're looking at Google Pixels, are generally pretty good, and the Pixel Pro Fold generally gets high marks. So I think within the Android side of the house, this could definitely help keep people over on Samsung side, especially because they're just really good phones. Does this bring over Apple people? Probably not, unless you're already a person who just happens to have an iPhone, but you're more so a tech person and just want to try something else, then maybe. So overall, I really like this card. If I had a Samsung phone, I would have gotten this card. I would get this card for sure. I'm not going to switch phones for it, but definitely worth your consideration if you are over in Samsung land. So anyways, that is the news for this week. So of course, if you liked it, drop me a thumbs up down below. If you found it particularly interesting, consider subscribing to the channel. So we're posting content just like this every single week, and of course, right back here every Sunday with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. Of course, every single day over on Profitable.content.com, which is of course the channel's blog. Always linked down below for you, and the homepage. We have news stories just like this. Plenty of bank promotions and credit card offers on occasion. Anyways, guys, that'll do it for this one. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you very soon in the next one.